Sales psychology is a fascinating and powerful field. By understanding how people think and react, you can turn rejection into an opportunity. Over the years, sales and psychology experts have developed specific techniques to transform a no into a yes, taking advantage of the principles of influence and persuasion that are inherent to our human nature. 1. The scarcity technique. The scarcity technique is a tool that is based on the idea that we value more what is limited. This psychological principle is so powerful that Robert Cialdini highlights it in his book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. Cialdini explains that when something seems rare or exclusive, people want it more. This is due to a natural human reaction. We have fear of losing opportunities. For example, imagine you are selling software that helps companies manage their productivity. A customer is hesitant because they are not sure if their team will adapt to the tool. Here you can apply the scarcity principle by highlighting that the current discount, or the option to receive personalized advice, is only available until the end of the month. The idea that the offer is limited may be enough to make the customer not want to miss the opportunity. And before we continue, I want you to stay tuned for the next video because we will cover a fascinating topic: how to read body language in the sale. We are going to explore those nonverbal signals that tell us a lot about what our client is thinking, and how we can adapt our sales strategy in real time. So make sure you don't miss that next installment. Now let's go with some stories. The effect of shortages on ticket sales. A few years ago, I worked for a company that organized annual conferences on technology and innovation. We had put tickets on sale, but they weren't moving as fast as we expected. We decided to implement a scarcity-based strategy. We sent an email to our database saying that there were only 100 tickets left and that as we were sold out, another round of sales would not be opened. Within a few hours, the tickets began to sell out and we managed to sell the remaining 100. The scarcity technique generated an urgent reaction among our clients. By presenting something as scarce, we activated the instinctive reaction of not wanting to miss an opportunity, and what started as a no quickly became a yes. Scarcity is a powerful and effective technique when used with integrity and authenticity. 2. The principle of reciprocity. Reciprocity is another pillar in sales psychology. In his book, Cialdini also talks about this principle. When someone does something positive for us, we feel indebted and want to return the favor. In sales, this technique is useful for creating a sense of commitment to the customer. A classic example of reciprocity in action is offering something free or valuable before asking for something in return. You can offer a free 30-minute consultation so that the client can learn more about your service. By giving them advance value without obligation, you increase the likelihood that they will feel an obligation to return the favor. Next story, the 7-day free trial. I remember a colleague who worked in software sales. His company offered a 7-day free trial period to potential customers. The idea was that by experiencing the software at no cost, the customer would begin to see the value of the product before making a purchasing decision. One customer in particular had shown resistance to investing in a full subscription. However, my colleague insisted that I take advantage of the free trial. During the week, the client began to see how the software saved him time and improved organization on his team. When it came time to decide, the client felt a kind of debt for the value received and decided to subscribe to the annual plan. The principle of reciprocity had worked impeccably. By offering something valuable without expecting anything in return, the customer felt committed and the initial no was transformed into a yes. 3. The anchoring technique. The anchoring technique is based on the idea that the first data a person receives greatly influences their perception. This technique, mentioned in the book Think Fast, Think Slowly by Daniel Kahneman, explains how the human mind uses the first information it receives as a reference point to make future decisions. In sales, this is useful when presenting an initial offer that is then narrowed down to the product or service you actually want to sell. For example, if you are offering a consulting service, you can start by explaining the value of a premium package of $5,000 annually before introducing the basic package of $2,000. This makes the basic package seem more accessible in comparison, since the client has mentally anchored their reference to the initial value. The power of active listening and open questions. A key technique for turning a no into a yes is active listening. Many times, the customer says no because they feel that the salesperson does not understand them. This is where open-ended questions and active listening come into play. A book that mentions this technique is The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. Tracy explains that most customers give signals about what they really need and want. If you learn to listen to their words, body language, and tone, you can adapt your approach. Also, if you are looking to hone your skills, I recommend checking out some of the previous videos where we have delved into specific sales techniques. They can also find very useful content on sales biases and how to leverage psychological knowledge to influence your customers' purchasing decisions. I assure you that each of these topics perfectly complements what we have seen today. Example of conversation with open questions. Imagine a customer tells you, "I'm not sure if your product is right for my business." Instead of harping on the qualities of your product, you can respond with an open-ended question like, "What are your main business goals?" Or "What does your team need to improve their productivity?" This allows the client to express themselves and gives you information to adapt your proposal. By listening carefully to their responses, you can tailor your message and highlight how your product helps solve those specific points. In the end, the client may feel understood, which increases the likelihood of turning the initial no into a yes. 5. The value of the small yes. The little yes is a simple but effective technique. Instead of looking for a definitive yes from the beginning, look for a small compromise. In the book Start With Known by Jim Camp, the author suggests that small agreements build a foundation of trust that can lead to a successful closing of sales. For example, if you sell a long-term consulting service, you could start by offering a 1-month trial contract. This small yes reduces the customer's initial commitment and allows them to experience the value of your service before making a long-term commitment. To finish, sales psychology offers numerous tools to transform a no into a yes. By using techniques such as scarcity, reciprocity, anchoring, active listening, and the small yes, you can reduce your customers' barriers and have them consider your products or services with a more open mind. Remember, however, that these techniques must be applied with integrity and empathy. The key is not to manipulate, but to authentically understand and connect with your customers' needs. As sales professionals, our goal should be to build long-term relationships of trust. When we apply these psychological principles correctly, we not only increase our chances of success, but we also create experiences of value and genuine connection with our customers. And of course, if this video has brought you value, I would greatly appreciate it if you would save it for future reference and share it with colleagues or friends who also want to improve their sales techniques. So together we continue learning and growing in this profession. Thank you for your support,